you entrepreneurs. Today, we're going to be doing a rebroadcast. So I haven't done one of these, but I've been doing the podcast for about a year now. Thought we would rebroadcast some of our earlier episodes. So today we have Michael Simpson. He is an artist. He's done work for some famous actresses, models, artists. If you live in the LA area and you've kind of walked the markets, you might have seen him. You might have seen his product if you're on Instagram. But yeah, take a listen. Please subscribe and, of course, tell your friends.
Welcome to the road to growth, success of an entrepreneur.
We've raised the bar.
Learn firsthand from successful business owners and create your own path to success.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
It's time to hit the road to growth with team lead of the Enriquez Group, Realtor
All right,
Vinny.
guys, so we are here with the owner, the mind, everything behind the writings for Michael.
That's a lot, man. I'm doing well, man. I appreciate the humble introduction, man. This is the first podcast that I've done. First podcast, first talk, first, I guess, saying anything.
Well, you tell your story through all your art, and if people don't know listening, take a look at his art. They can find it. You mean writings for Michael on Instagram.com or whatever it might be. But like each piece has a story of you on there, right?
Definitely.
So this is just another platform to tell your story on a wider margin.
Definitely. Tell your story and also connect with others.
Yeah.
I think the greatest thing about art is it's a way to tell your story, but also connect with other people. We said the website was a way to see my work, but the best way to see the work is going to the Trading Post, which is a flea market. Okay. Regular flea market, foot traffic between 3,000-4,000 people a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And this is how I initially got the platform and just the awareness to say, it's bigger than myself. Right, it's bigger than just me as a person. This is like a world connection. Black, white, Asian, Indian, it don't matter what ethnicity, race, gender. We're all connected in some type of facet.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm truly focused on right now, just the connectivity and how we can bring problems and solutions and mend them together.
So where did this come from? Where was this idea to become an artist? Was it one day just like grew up saying, you know what, I'm going to be an artist?
Let's rock and roll. So I went to school at St. Joe's High School, which is a Catholic high school, all boys, predominantly all white school, all right? And my jump from 8th grade to 9th grade, which was middle school, 8th grade, and going from 9th grade to high school, that was like my first risk factor, right? I had to get away from the school I was going to, which is a public school, Franklin High School, to St. Joe's High School, which is an all-boys school. I had to apply. I went for basketball, predominantly basketball, and it was more of like I did this because I was an athlete at the time, right? And that kind of made ways for me to open up artistically because I wasn't playing all the time, right? If you wasn't getting playing time, right? You got to find other ways to fill your purpose, passion, right? And that was always writing, poetry, designing. I was just writing sketches and small shit like that in my books. And it became almost like a fun thing. I love clothes. I love fashion. I love getting fly, having the new Jordan. So that was like the world that I was creating within my own self.
So did you have style at that age, or was it more of like, what's he wearing today?
Impeccable style, man. Shout out to my pops, man. No, for real. This is more of like, I love fashion, man. Okay. I grew up on guys like, Diddy, J, right? These guys, more hip-hop artists. Yeah. And those are our bigger heroes, right? Besides Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, these big, huge figures. Yeah. But there was no painter, me growing up, to say I want to be like that. Yeah. I just didn't see it. I didn't have the vision of seeing a painter or that it was even possible or design. It really became once I got to Pace University College that I saw that this is maybe a possibility to be an artist, get paid for it, and still be creative and have fun within your vocation.
So what was that first step to like actually say, okay, I'm gonna just go for it, be an artist?
My junior year of high school,
yeah,
going into senior year,
yeah,
I got pretty hurt.
Oh,
I think I had a sprained ankle.
Okay,
so it left me out of playing season ball, varsity. So I was still on the team, but I wasn't playing ball. I then got a job from my mom at the time, working for, I think, Verizon sales, door-to-door sales. Yeah. I was a beast. I loved it. I got to meet people. I got to be in front of people. I got to jib, jab, talk, connect with deals. It became like a new world, a business, and that was something how I saw myself at a younger age, just a business.
Were you scared at all by door knocking? I know some people, like, I even talk to people where they're just kind of scared of door knocking and that unknown or that ideal failure behind every door.
I think the no definitely is scary at first. I'm not gonna lie, man. That hearing no is like, damn, you're so aggressive too, man. You know, you could have just said no, thank you, but but the no was a little more aggressive. But I think what helped me was my father, man. I worked for my dad at a young age in a restaurant, so getting used to just like the rejection was something that wasn't hard. I think it came pretty natural. So hearing no led me to getting more yeses, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Takes a few no's to get a yes, right?
You're one step closer to that.
You're one step closer, right? That's a quote right there, man, right? You're one step closer. So hearing it was like, I became fueled. Like, all right, you may say no, but the next lady, next guy may say yes. Yeah. So that became fueled. And once it was, you are your own pretty much destiny, like it's 100% commission. You gotta get out there and get it. Be gritty, hustle. So I took that same basketball mentality and flipped it to an artist kind of just striving on his own almost.
So do you remember that first piece that you actually sold?
So we're jumping up a couple of years now.
Okay.
From high school to college, I went to Pace University, New York School, downtown Manhattan, which was a dope experience, right? School didn't work out for me. I did about a year and a half. Once the first semester, kind of like of the sophomore year, kind of got rolling out, I knew this was like, I'm wasting some cash here. Mom's hit me like, you got D's right now, C's, like this, you wasting the bank right now. We're not. I don't come from a wealthy family at all.
Yeah.
This is like you're fucking up. What's up?
They strive to like get you in there, and now you're
no, for real.
Yeah.
And I'm over here just taking it away. So that right there in itself was the first drop in a hat. Like, I need to just drop this and continue what I'm doing now. At that time, it was writing poetry, making beats, and rapping. Right? That was my thing. Having the mic in the hand and just being pretty much an orator. Right? I loved it. Right? Getting on stage, I loved it. Creating with videographers, beat makers. Just the curation made, whether it was reggae music, whether it was like hip hop music. I just loved music and I loved hearing it and I loved creating things. So that was the first, I can't say piece I sold, but piece I put out. I put projects out. Yeah. So it wasn't about money at first because when you're first starting, it's like no one's paying you for your bullshit.
You just want someone to say.
You just want to hear it. It's good, right? You just want it good. For me, that was social currency was better. It was like, I just want to hear it's good. Yeah. You listening to it. So for me, that was the currency. Was they're listening to it. It's in your iPod, and you can go back to it, and you're telling people about it. That was the gist factor. You're coming to a show. Those were things that I was getting hyped about.
So how long did it take you to say, maybe my stuff is actually good? Maybe what I'm doing is something that people want to hear?
I felt my music was good. I don't know if it reached its full potential.
Okay.
For me, there's a book called The Dip by Seth Godin.
Okay.
It talks about quitting or sticking. With that, I had to quit it, right? There's certain things in life where if it ain't getting past a certain limit, quit it. Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
Don't quit the whole passion, just quit the method. So I didn't never stop writing. I always wrote. I continued writing. I just now, maybe I'm not a rapper. I'm not an artist. That's not me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm more of an author. I started working on poetry. And the poetry led me to do more paintings. Like, I can paint this. So I feel like it was like almost an evolution thing.
We talked about it before we got on.
Yeah.
You got to talk about the book right here.
Yeah, definitely.
The woman you're with right now.
Correct.
You knew her since, you said 8th grade, right?
Since 8th grade.
8th grade.
I think we were 13.
And 2 years, you basically put a kind of book together that...
It sounds crazy hearing it, too, or hearing it back.
That's a cool story.
So, I worked at Apple in Georgia, right? I think that was 2014. I got that job, which I was happy as hell because I felt like once I got out of college, this was like a restart. Like, I got to get a structural path. It was for Apple. I'm like, damn, this is... I'm coming back. This is the way to come back. You ever get that opportunity? It's like, this is a fresh start.
Yeah.
Genuinely a fresh start. So, as I was working for Apple, I was diligently working, trying to go high in the ranks, right? And just kind of become a manager or expert, whatever the position was, I wanted to become it. But at the same time, I was also working on beats and writing poetry. I wrote poetry all the time. I'm a big Langston Hughes fan, big David Bukowski fan. I love poetry.
Yeah.
It's a language of love. It genuinely is. So I started working at Georgia in Cumberland Mall. I got transferred to Georgia to California, which is Third Street Promenade. So the first 6 months I worked for Apple. I transferred myself, or got transferred, and that was for just moving purposes. I wanted a new fresh start. I wanted a new journey. California was it. Once I got to California, I then started writing more in the sense where like I can kind of put this together, but it wasn't there yet. I used Instagram as my book, right? I was just putting out pages a day. Then I got this like almost, I guess subconsciously, felt like I'm only on Instagram right now. I need to get a book together. So that I kind of put the thing in my mind like, let me just put each page aside, and within a year's time, I put a page, 2 pages together, 10 pages together, 50 pages together. Before you know it, I had about 200 pages worth of content of poetry that I hadn't released. Yeah. So I said, this is the book. This is what I'm going to work on, and this is the way I'm going to come out as another artist, just like an author. But within that, I started doing projects, like the Polaroid and Poetry Project I went around Santa Monica on my lunch breaks, only 1 hour, right? So I had the Santa Monica Pier, so gorgeous view, and I took my Polaroid camera out, and I had 4 canvases I had painted on with different things. One was about spirituality, one was about love, one was about fear, and one was about vision. And I went around just to random people, say, look, hey, sir, hey, Vinny, you mind picking a canvas for me? All right? The canvas you pick, when you resonate with, you're going to take a picture with that. On the back of the Polaroid, you're going to write a poem. I did that for about 3-4 months, and I called it the Polaroid and Poetry Project. So that was the first, like, just wanting to be near people and, like, connect. Like, does this resonate with you, you know?
I'm assuming not everyone said yes to take my picture. Other people probably, you get those no's again from the door knocking, right?
There it goes, right? Circles back of life, right? I got those no's. I got those like, yo, I ain't really into that. I'm like, okay, it don't matter. We're going to find an expert who is into it. So it became like this hunger thing. I've collected over 100 Polaroids of people holding different canvas. And the great thing about it is they're all different ethnicities, all different genders, right? They all believe in different things, but they have a common denominator, is that quote.
Yeah.
So that was like the first catalyst to writing for Michael, as far as like each piece is connected. And then once I kind of got finished with that project, I put the book out.
Yeah.
Amazon, shout out to Amazon. I put the book on Amazon, self-published it. Then I had hard copies.
How did you know how to write a book?
Google.
Okay.
Google.
Yeah.
I was finding ways how to get the ISBN number, how to publish it, how to format it together, hitting different publishing companies to distribute it. I got knocked down a couple times. I hit a couple big companies, ignored me, right? So I said, man, I'm putting this shit out my damn self, all right? I'm going to have hard copies. I'm going to go out to the Trading Post, which is the flea market for regular artisans and vendors. I sold the book myself. So that was like another step of sometimes you don't need anything or anyone to push start you. You got to push start yourself first.
How did you know, like, this is something that is always intriguing for me when I talk to artists.
Yeah.
Is to know the value of your work, because we all have to try to figure out the value that we offer, right, as a person.
Yeah.
And so the same thing for you, like, because your pieces mean a lot to you, so you have to figure out what that piece is going to mean to someone else.
Yeah.
So how did you come across that number, that pricing?
That's hard, and sometimes I feel like you're going to take peanuts first, starting off, just because you want the piece to get out there.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just a dollar amount at first. I think the most important was the value, right? Do you value this piece? Like, you may not have enough cash to buy a piece. Like, a kid comes up, yo, I don't got no money right now. I just love the work. First starting off, I probably would have gave that piece to him.
Yeah.
You know? Because it wasn't about the dollar amount. It was truly about, do you like this piece and will you share it?
Yeah.
Right? I just want to make more. I wanted enough cash just to make more product.
Yeah.
It wasn't about, can I get 10, 50, 100, X amount of dollars for this? It was truly about, and it still is, getting the piece to a person who really values that piece. Yeah. That's the greatest currency. That's the greatest joy. You know? That's where it takes away dollar. I just need enough money to pay the bills, right? Get some more canvas, paints, and brushes, and continue on.
So you had the book, and then what was next?
So after the book, I'm like, damn, you're like, the high is gone, right? Once you kind of get your muscles right, you're like, all right, what's next, right? Yeah. So I started doing challenges like, let me put the pages of the book, or let me write little nuances of the book on jackets. And that kind of became like, I want to promote it. Like, you got to be your own marketing machine. So I started using jackets as almost a book. So I started doing 3-4 jackets. I had one of my friends from Apple, shout out to Alicia, who did some photo shoots and just used people around me, my peers at the time, and still to this day, to promote it. You know, yo, Vinny, I need to do a photo shoot, man. I got my jackets. Would you mind, please? Let's do a quick little photo shoot. You can keep the photos for yourself. You know, Instagram is huge, so content is big, right? Who doesn't want photos?
Yeah.
And I was big into photography at the time, still am. And I had my T3i Rebel, which my lady had brought for me at the time. And I used that just to kind of be creative. So I was like mixing everything: photos, poetry, jackets. And then I got into shirts. I started designing shirts, bleaching them, cutting them, and kind of making them real just stressed and just, I guess, ugly, quote unquote, say, and just misfit almost. And it became like this thing where got this multimedia thing where you're a writer, a painter. I mean, it's all in one. I don't know what it is. It's just creating.
Just juggling a lot of hats right there.
You're juggling acts, and I guess you could say the quote. What is it called? Master of none. What is the actual quote?
I don't know, but I just say
Jack of all trades, master of
none.
none.
Yeah.
You have to have a few trades, right? And you have to master them all together. That's the mastery, right? Is putting them all together.
So you've worked with some fairly big names out there. How did that come across? Like, how was that like? Was it just word of mouth? Like the idea of getting your piece out there, someone saw it, or?
Well, I think the Trading Post, I owe a lot of success to the Trading Post.
Wow, okay.
Just a lot of foot traffic. A lot of dope individuals go through the Melrose Market. Once I had quit my job at Apple, I had literally just said finito, right? I had got an inquiry, a DM message to get a jacket. This was the last day I came to Apple too. I had an inquiry in my DM to get a jacket. I made that jacket that same day, that same night. Ended up handing it to her the same day. I think I had a lunch break. I had kind of made up a story like, I don't feel too well. I'm not like, I need to get off work. Got off work. I just never came back.
Oh, dang.
And that was it. That was really it. That was really it. It's really it. I said, at least say today, like, that was exactly how it went. I literally did not come back after that. The month from that day, I met Angela Arts, who was the VP at Apple at the time, at the Trading Post. Her daughter, Angela, was shopping and looking at these pieces. Her mama looked up. That's Angela. This is Angela from Apple. I've seen her every day on, like, our meetings.
Yeah.
This is, like, really happening right now. So that was, like, the first thing that actually happened in real time where I'm like, damn, I just quit my job at Apple. I see you're like Apple. You know what I mean? I was a huge fan / just like, this is a mentor here. She put a course in my life where she said, I love what you're doing. You know, would you want to create a jacket for will.i.am? You know, he's doing a relaunch of the song Where's the Love. So I did a jacket, Where's the Love, and that was the first, I guess, figure doing a jacket for. You know, I got to go to the studio and see, wow, this is real.
So the connection was through the head up on Apple. She was the one. Wow, so you worked at Apple, and it's some kind of synergy, like this, like universe.
I'm telling you, man, that's where the story has the magic, and it's just like dropping everything on a dime.
Yeah.
Have faith and let it come together.
Yeah.
But right there, we have that thing on the wall here, the to-do list, 9/6/16. That's when I had finished Will's jacket, will.i.am,
yeah.
Finish, put Intense Pulse, which is the book title.
Yeah.
Send email images of Will's jacket to Angela, all right? So this day was a memorable day. My lady actually wrote that to-do list, and this was like, this shit is happening.
Anyone listening out there, he just showed a list that he has up on his in his work studio right here of all the different kind of to-do lists.
And that was, September 6th, 2016?
Yeah.
And I thought I had a lot to do then, right?
And now it's like nothing.
Well, now it's calmed down as far as name-wise, but, like, now it's more operational stuff. But I always keep that because that's, like, that was, like, the start of, like...
You felt you
I really felt I was... this is who I am.
Yeah.
Right? That was, like, it's like introduction. So I keep that almost like a reminder. Like, you can't stop.
Well, take a look at my Instagram. I'll have this posted. Road to Growth. I'll have this posted on there, so you can take a look at that from 2016. So, talk about some of kind of the hurdles you've had to overcome. I know at a young age, the idea of rejection, door knocking. I know for a lot of people that's a bigger hurdle.
Yeah.
I talk about getting that no, but that made you stronger.
Yeah.
But what are some of, like, for yourself, how you thought about like some of the hurdles you've had to overcome?
I think one of the hurdles through the story was like quitting the job. Like, all right, you quit a job, but now where the hell are you gonna pay your rent at?
Yeah.
Like, shit don't just come out of trees, right? I'm not hitting up mom like, I needed rent money, and not hitting up pops. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I had to find a way to be resourceful, but also make money in the process of trying to be creative.
Yeah.
Like, those two things are hard. Because when you just go for money, right, or if I'm just hustling for this, you lose the sense of the true passion, and you lose the sense of meaning. If I just do meaning, right, I have no way to pay bills. So where's that happy meaning we can find to be creative? So I think the trading post allowed me to vend every week, right, still put out product and test out little samples and test out things, different canvases and different type of designs, but still be able to be resourceful as a businessman. And that's something I had to learn as far as, look, you may not have everything. There's times when I've had eviction notice on the door, right? Like, literally. So those struggles in itself where you don't have everything together. It's not like you quit your job and you just like, it's done.
Yeah.
That is the hurdle. You know, that was the hurdle.
Makes you stronger. It makes you that you don't want that eviction notice again. Like, I'm not going to be that person again.
Got it a few times.
Yeah.
Getting your car towed. You know, things that happen and like, damn, why the fuck? Like, this is the wrong timing, right? But then at that same time, you would have a project, you know, for a certain artist, right? Or for certain companies. And you're like, all right, there's something here, right? There's something here.
If you could look at maybe your younger self, that the person, you know, on the bench, you know, maybe that 8th, 9th grade or whatever, or maybe even another artist, kind of what kind of advice would you give?
I think attitude is important, how you wake up. Because it's bigger than just like the resources sometimes too. It's like, what are you willing to believe? If you don't have the resources, right? What are you willing to believe as far as your attitude? All right, you're going to come into it like, you know, fuck this person, because he has this, and don't worry about what he or she has. You have something in your palette that can achieve you something, right? For me, it was the market. It was like, look, there's good people here, there's foot traffic. Utilize something in market. Now, a lot of people don't have the pride or have too much pride to stay there a week, right? It's outside vending. I'm used to this, right? My father had me outside vending since young, so it was like being outside was something that I didn't mind. Right, I didn't mind being out there from 9 to 5, and there were some days not even making anything. Like, bro, like seriously, coming home with not making a dime, but there was still like I met someone. There might be a connection here, you know. So you take relationships, and that's the currency, not the money, right? Sometimes it's way bigger than money. It's like, what's the relationship, what's the positioning, and what do you value?
Some of the relationships you that happened maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, you don't even think about it, and then it pops up later on in life, and you're like, wow,
pops up,
that worked.
All right, and that's why I say good attitude is important, because if you come around good people with bad attitude, this, and you seem ungrateful, it's like no one wants to be around ungrateful, man. I'm come on, seriously.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I think the good attitude was like, whether you're rich or poor, whether you have $10 or $10,000, it doesn't matter what you have in your pocket, or it's like you always have a good attitude. That is currency, right? Your attitude is currency. Positivity is currency. That's how we get through the day. So for me, I'm in a good mood a lot of the times. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood, but it's not what I'm in, it's what I show, and it's what I exude out. So for me, it was always just stay positive. Like, God has you, right? You have your faith. Just stay strong and just stay active. I mean, the attitude is truly important.
Well, like we talked about before the podcast started, it's like that idea, and I remember I butcher all these quotes like that, but the idea is that like it's not what your life is, but it's how you perceive your life to be. You know what I mean? That's really the extent of it. Like, I mean, you
can go third overseas, man. Like you said, no shoes, barely have a house together, still happy.
Yeah.
Still happy. Still smiling. Still feel that gratitude. And we're the tourists going over there like, like it's hot out here. They just like, yeah, man, relax, So this is things are, like you said, perspective is everything, and just truly be grateful for the day.
So what's next? What's next for you?
I think what's next is, like right now, currently, is just trying to develop the operations where they're seamless. It's been growing pains, like with this, getting this studio together, right? Making out space, like putting different racks in here to be more organized and be more seamless, putting the right team together, getting the right content out, trying to just almost do what you've been doing the first year, but just amping it up a little bit, right? And finding that flow, right? Finding that flow, because within the process, you kind of get insane a little bit, right? You're like, you're doing this, right? What is coming out of it? And you don't really see your results until you take a step out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good to like travel, whether it's different town, different state, different country. The more you can travel and see your outside self is important. Because I got to see like, damn, I'm not doing this correct. I need to make this switch. And focus on things that you have. So MTP is something that I take pride in, man. We love the Miller's Trading Post. That's something like we see different type of groups of people every day or every Sunday. It's something where you can find family, right? You can find your almost trinkets of in your apartment. It goes deeper than just being at a market and buying things. You're buying things that people have made through their hands, right? This is like almost.
Man, you know what? Anyone listening to this podcast, if you're living in LA or you're close enough, you need to go to the Trading Post.
You gotta
go. Me excited about this, man.
I would go not even I was there. That's how it started going, right? You go as almost a consumer first, or just like a fan of like this creation. You know?
Are you still there every Sunday?
I'm there every Sunday. Now we do miss some Sundays, obviously, travel or just can't make it that day. But we try to be there consistently. That's our store. Yeah. So. In LA, overhead is extremely high, so storefront space is out of our range now. But our storefront is the MTP, so we utilize that as a storefront. We're open from 9 to 5 on Sundays, right? All those funds go back to the school to fund the arts program. So it has its own, every facet, every angle you look at has some type of positive to it.
So what's, if someone's listening right now, they want to basically purchase your pieces, what's the best platform to go to? What's the best platform to get in contact?
So if you're not in California or Los Angeles area, I would definitely go to RhinoSchmichael.com.
Okay.
That's the best way through e-commerce website, and do a custom order. Like there's actual 2 made available pieces on the site, but the best thing to do is custom order, because you can pretty much give me how you grew up, right? Give me some keywords, and I pretty much put that in poetic form and make a piece. That's the best way. But if you can come to California, man, make a trip, come to the MTP, because it's truly one of a kind experience. Whether you're visiting just me as a vendor or just Michael as the brand, there's a lot of vendors there. Each vendor has something special, like literally has something special.
Well, I appreciate all your time. I thank you. Hopefully everyone listening out there, could to listen to kind of the passion that comes from, and knowing the idea. I think you said it best. Like, you knew your creative mind, and one thing wasn't working, so you went to the next thing and to the next thing, and you're still kind of even figuring out this is, and you still have had great success already.
I appreciate it, man. It's humbling you want to even talk to me right now. This is like I'm still amazed, man. But like you said, to anybody listening out there, it's just about stay gritty. Yeah. Stay passionate, stay hungry, and be around people who truly have some nourishment to say too as well, man. Because we talked before this podcast, like it's just about giving the information, man. Yeah. And being around that positivity helps. Like, you can't be around a negative environment and sustain the growth. It's almost impossible. Yeah, right. I Plant agree. Needs water, sun, and some love, man.
Well, thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Michael. Please subscribe, please share, and tell your friends, everyone.
Much love.
Thank you for listening to The Road to Growth, Success of an Entrepreneur. Please like, subscribe, and stay connected. Visit www.theenriquezgroup.com.
Yeah, I created a website.
Hope to see you again next week. The Enriquez Group, signing off.